Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Sideboard Files here on HEDRON.TV. Manuel, your host as usual, this time joined once again by Aleks Dakic. Welcome back.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. Couple of weeks, more or less. And indeed, we are ready to talk again about TitanShift, about Modern and TitanShift. So a few matchups actually we're going to discuss here. Counters Company, Eldrazi Tron, Grixis That Shadow, and the Mirror.
Delicious mirror.
The delicious mirror match. Okay, so before we start, your main deck configuration is still the same. The same that you had a couple of weeks ago for the other video.
Nothing has changed.
No change there. Still Howrah Promise version. Still 2 Ice and Moss main deck.
Oh yeah. So far I'm very satisfied with this list. So definitely gonna keep it there.
Nice. Very good here. And also this sideboard, as we see it here, absolutely the same.
Exactly, the same.
Yeah. Appearing here and now. Well, the panel probably is already here, showing all the cards. No need to go through them and read them, so we can just kick off straight away with the first matchup that we want to talk about. So, Counters Company. And the question. Game 2, what are your objectives when you're facing this deck?
Against this deck, we are trying to combo as fast as possible, as usual, and also have interaction against their combo, which is in the form of creatures. We're trying to deal with the creatures with interaction, with removal spells. That's pretty much the goal here. Okay,
so you want to have the removal spells, you want to have access to removal spells to make sure you kill the key creatures before they get combo off.
Exactly,
because they can be faster than TitanShift.
Oh yes, they can.
Pretty
much 1-2 turns earlier. If they have the natural combo in their hand, they can turn 2 play Devoted Druid, turn 3 the Vizier of Remedies, I think.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much a win for them if they have the rest of the combos in their hand. So we have to have the interaction in postboard.
Okay. Very good. So different plans on the play and on the draw.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So what do you side out and what do you side in on the draw?
So on the draw, we are siding out 2 copies of Mobility Ascent Moss, 2 copies of Relic Progenitors, 2 copies of Scapeshift, 1 Farseek, 1 Owl of Promise, and 1 Wood Elves. It's the same thing with Affinity. We are siding out slower cards, the Mobility Ascent Moss, the Relic Progenitors, which don't do much in this matchup. We want to bring in as much interaction as possible, so we are siding out the more slower cards, which don't help us interacting with our opponent or comboing as fast as possible. Okay,
so Acid Moss, too slow, not really effective.
Yeah.
Same thing for Relic of Progenitors, not really doing much. The cards are the same thing.
Yeah, they have so many mana dorks, so it's not really that
interesting destroying land.
Yeah, exactly.
I see your point.
Exactly. Yes,
you're not really slowing them down with Acid Moss.
Exactly.
So this one goes out.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the plan there.
Okay. All right. Wood Elves, not really doing much as well, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they can blood stuff, but we need space for some interaction.
Okay. Right, so what comes in?
So what comes in are 3 copies, of Lightning Bolt, 2 copies of Anger of the Gods, 2 Beast Withins, 1 Engineer Explosives, and 1 Grafdigger's Cage. So as you can see, a lot of interaction, a bit of disruption. So in this matchup, interaction are the key. So this matchup is pretty similar to Affinity. We have to deal with the threats they're showing us. But this time we have to kind of watch out for the combo pieces, for the combo creatures. So we gotta save removal for these creatures.
Okay. So you have to select your targets carefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
A mistake I did once against Absent Coco when it still was, the new Absent Coco with the Devoted Druid, when it still was new, was I immediately cast Lightning Bolt on the Birds of Paradise and regretted that. Because on the second turn, the Druid followed, and
So kill the bird, which is sort of like a legendary motto in Magic the Gathering community, is not always the right thing to do when you're facing this deck, Counters Company.
Not always. So you gotta watch out for the
real
important creatures.
The real deal. Okay.
Exactly. And also watch out for, because they have a second plan as well, in case the combo doesn't work or they don't have the combo at all, is pretty much the beatdown plan, the creature-based beatdown plan with the help of Gavany Township, which puts counters on the creatures. So they can still win with that, and that can be pretty annoying as well.
Okay, so 3 lightning bolts come in exactly for that purpose.
Yes.
So what's the role of the other cards that you're siding in?
So in this matchup, your best friends are Board Clears, Anger of the Gods, and Sweathering Suns, and the Graphic Cage,
Okay.
which just prevents them from actually searching the libraries with Court of Calling or Collected Company, put down their combo creatures on the field.
Okay, so you shut down the engine with the Graphic Cage
Exactly.
and board control with the other cards that you sided.
Absolutely. That's our main game plan here, actually.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. Okay. What about the other possibility? You are on the play because you lost game one because they were so fast in comboing.
Yes, that can happen. It can happen.
So, what do you side out or what do you side in when you're on the play?
So what we are siding out are very similar to the on-draw option. 2 copies of Mobile Asset Moss, 2 copies of Relic Progenitors, 2 Scape Shifts, 1 Explorer instead of a Farseek this time, a 1 Hour of Promise, and 1 copy of the Wood Elves. So,
okay.
Same explanation here.
Same explanation here, but you side out 1 Explorer instead of 1
Yes.
Farseek. So I would like to know why.
Once again.
Yeah, once again. Yeah. Why not? Maybe, some viewers didn't watch the other video, so why not?
Yeah, sure.
Briefly, yeah.
I think that's a very interesting point to talk about. So the thing is why, for example, on the draw, why we are siding out the Farseek is because being on the draw, we essentially have an 8th card. We are drawing another card. So with Explorer in the main board, we have a slightly bigger chance to draw an extra land to play it with the Explorer. So that's pretty much the whole reason behind it.
Right.
I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, sometimes, little details
Yes.
can
Exactly.
maximize your chances, during the game. Okay. So what comes in? The same stuff, I believe. Yeah?
The same stuff, yes. As much interaction as possible, because this is key in this matchup.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so we set it all for this match, and we can just go for the next one. So we're talking about Eldrazi Tron here.
Oh, yes.
Okay. It's a tough one. Is okay one?
Actually, it's not a real tough one. I mean, it's always tough when they have turn 3 Reality Smasher into turn 4 Reality Smasher into turn 5 Reality Smasher.
Yeah,
so sure. Almost every
everybody.
Matchup.
Yeah.
But otherwise, even though they have access to so much mana with the Tron pieces, in the end they're still a slower deck.
Okay. So what are your objectives?
Very straightforward objectives. We're just trying to ramp up, play our RAM spells, and play our combo pieces. That's pretty much it. And bring in some interaction to deal with their big threats, the Planeswalkers, which we don't have in the main board.
Sure. So your interaction is limited in game 1, but you can improve that aspect in game 2.
Exactly. A little bit, at least.
All right, very good. So, again, different plans on the play on the draw.
Yes.
All right. So we start with on the draw because you won game 1.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you side out and what do you side in?
2 copies of Relic Progenitors, 1 single copy of Farseek, 1 Scape Shift, and 1 Sweathering Suns. Well, Sweathering Suns doesn't do much in this matchup. It can kill the Matter Reshaper, but we don't want to really kill these creatures because they can bring our opponent so much value to the table.
Okay. You don't want actually to give that advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
The regular Progenitors, same here, don't do much in this matchup. Don't really interact with our opponent or with their game plan. And don't help us move forward in our game plan. So these are out. 1 copy of Scape Shift and Farseek. The Scape Shift, the thing is, they have the Warping Whale. So Scape Shift is most of the times the target for this kind of spell. So that's why we can cut 1 copy of Scape Shift.
Okay. So you would cut a copy of Scape Shift rather than a copy of Hour of Promise.
Exactly.
Okay, why?
Eldrazi Tron is very scared of Scape Shift. That's why I bring in the Warping Whales. And I think it's most likely that they're going to hold back the Warping Whales and not counter the Hour of Promise. Because they're scared of the Scape Shift next turn, perhaps. So that's why I think Hour of Promise won't get countered most of the times. So I think this is a free win there somehow. Because as soon as we cast an Hour of Promise, it's much easier to win from that point.
Okay. But experienced players could actually counter your Hour Promise if they have Warping Whale in hand.
They could.
Okay.
They could.
But that would still, you would be still okay with it?
I would still be okay with
it. Okay. Anything else we should add about the cards we side out? Not really. I think we said it all.
Yeah.
Right. So what comes in?
All right. So what comes in are 2 copies of Beast Within's. Our interactive spells in this one. 2 copies of Obstinate Baloth, and 1 copy of Tidal Striker. Not much, not many cards. So the Beast Within are our only interaction with this kind of matchup, because the creatures are just very large, and lightning bolts just can't hit it.
Yeah, better than having a 3/3 rather than a 5/5. Yeah,
exactly,
for sure.
Yeah. And with Beast Within, we can also target their Karn, the Planeswalkers, which can be annoying when they hit the battlefield turn 3, turn 4.
Sure.
Turn 4. That can be pretty annoying. So we are trying to destroy these kind of cards with Beast Within. And the Obstinate Baloth, I think I've mentioned this a few times before. We have a sweet interaction there. So you probably know what's coming.
I think I remember that. Yeah, go on.
All right,
I like
so.
this.
Oh yeah, I like this one as well. So in case we happen to stumble across a Reality Smasher, and we cast a Beast Within on the Reality Smasher, and the trigger happens, we are...
Trigger that makes you discard a card.
Yes, the trigger, but which makes us discard a card. And that card can happen to be cute little Obstinate Baloth.
Yeah, sure. Sure. That you could actually have already in your hand, or you could fetch with Summoner's Pact.
That can happen as well. But yeah, that's, I think, a pretty sweet interaction. And that turns the rather bad trigger into a very good trigger for us.
Sure.
If in case we have the Obstinate Baloth in their hand.
Sure. Eliminate the threat and having a 4/4 on the battlefield and getting 4 lives. Yeah, sounds more than decent to me. Absolutely.
And it blocks a few of the creatures of Eldrazi Tron.
Sure.
Not Seer. As soon as it gets blocked and destroyed, we draw a card, which is very good for us.
Yeah, sure.
So most of the times they're just not going to attack with the Fall Not Seer because they want to give us that value. So yeah, Obstinate Baloths come pretty much handy, here and here, and they give us life, which is also very fine.
Yeah.
Kind of survive one more turn or something. And the Tidal Striker, well, just a win con on its own.
yeah, we talked about it already so many times. Yeah.
Additional blocker.
If it survives, becomes so big and just can win the game very easily.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, very good. So now, different scenario, you are on the play. What do you side out or what do you side in when you're on the play?
So on the play, we are siding out 2 copies of Relic of Progenitor still, 1 copy of Explorer, 1 copy of Scapeshift, and 1 Sweathering Suns. So same method here, Explore, Farseek on the draw.
Okay, same situation
exactly
with the previous matchup, so that's the reason behind the difference between on the play and on the draw. And you are siding in the same cards here as well.
Otherwise, nothing changed.
Okay, very good. So we can just go for the next matchup. Grixis Death Shadow.
Oh yeah, very tough one.
Very tough one. Okay, so since it's very tough, what are your objectives in game 2?
So our objectives in this one are to, well, deal with their Delve threats, with their threats in general. Delve threats, Hessigor and Gormak Angler, and their big Death Shadows. And try to slam down a Primeval Titan as soon as possible, because Primeval Titan is, I think, the best card in this matchup, because it just can't get countered like Scapeshift can with Stubborn Denial. So Primeval Titan will resolve, and that's, well, turn 4, Primeval Titan will win us the game most of the time. So that's our key in this matchup.
Okay, very good. Same plans on the play and on the draw?
Same plans.
Same plans. Yeah. An easy one. An easy one. Okay, so what do you side out and what do you side in?
So we are siding out 2 copies of Movable Essence Moss, 1 copy of Scapeshift, and 1 Sweathering Suns. So Sweathering Suns, same here, doesn't do much against the big creature decks, so that gets sideboard out very easily. The Scapeshift gets countered most of the time, so it's okay to cut 1 copy of Scapeshift. And the Essence Moss is a very interesting one. I think attacking their greedy mana base is not bad, but in this matchup, I'd rather have as many ramp spells, early ramp spells, cheap ramp spells, and win conditions as possible. So I think that's why I'd say cutting two copies of the SMS, because these are kind of more expensive ramp spells. It's fine to cut those 2.
Okay. So it wouldn't be actually like a bad strategy to try to attack their mana base.
No, absolutely.
But basically, you can't afford to do that because you would have to sacrifice other spells, and you need the other spells more than this. So it's a decent plan, but it's just a decent plan. it's not like the plan you want to go for. So these two have to go out.
Exactly.
Okay, totally understood. And what comes in?
So what comes in are 2 copies of most beloved removal spell, Beast Within, 1 copy of Engineered Explosives, and 1 copy of Tidal Striker.
Okay.
So because we can't pre-board deal with their big threats, we are bringing in actual spells which can actually kill their creatures. So Engineered Explosives can deal with their Death Shadows as Snapcasters, and the Beast Withins can deal with their Testicle Gourmet Angler.
Yeah, the delve threats. Huh? As we said before, for the Radius Smasher, better a 3/3 rather than a 5/5 or a 4/5 with an ability and stuff like that.
Yes, exactly, yes. And we already have a few cards in the main board already, which are good against this matchup. In this case, Relic of Progenitors, which can turn off the Delve creatures pretty much.
Sure.
Prevent them from actually casting them.
Interaction with the graveyard and possibility to exile or the graveyard. So, yeah.
So we actually have already a plus in the pre-board.
A little
matches.
edge. You already have a little edge in game 1, and in game 2 you're even getting more resources in.
Exactly.
To deal with their strategy. I mean, they are a graveyard-based deck. So attacking the graveyard, of course, is what you want to do.
It's definitely a good choice there.
Okay. We should have said this in the objective plan as well, but since you have already the Relics of Progenitors in the main deck, we assume that this was already your plan for the beginning, as soon as you understand in game 1 that you are facing Grixis Death Shadow.
That's right.
Which probably occurs in turn 1 when they just go for land, Thought Sees You, or Inquisition of Kozilek, and you say, I smell some shadows there.
I'd better prefer them playing Serum Visions or Thought Scouring themselves.
Sure.
So
rather than discarding a key card from your hand, that's for sure.
But yeah, having Relic of Progenitors turn 1 is like the best thing that can happen.
Sure. You
can slow them down so much by having control over their graveyard, pretty much.
Right. Okay. So we spoke about all the cards you side in, I believe.
I believe so. Yes, we did.
Excellent. So we can just go for the last matchup that we want to talk about today. The sweet mirror match.
Oh, yes.
TitanShift versus TitanShift. So what is your approach in game 2 when you are facing the mirror?
So this is a very interesting and not so interesting matchup for most people. So, I mean, I think this is a perfect scenario, perfect example for a race matchup.
Okay, this is real race.
Exactly.
This is like the faster
the goldfish matchup.
The first person who assembles the combo wins the game.
Exactly. The first person who casts or attacks with a Primeval Titan or casts Escape Shift wins the game there. So when your opponent casts a Primeval Titan, it's not essentially lost, but yeah, the Escape Shift most of the times wins the game.
Okay.
We have the edge in the main board with the mobile Essence Moss.
Sure.
We are trying to prevent them from comboing off. But otherwise, it's just a goldfish matchup.
Okay.
A very fun one.
So try to win as fast as you can and prevent your opponent from assembling the combo if possible.
Yes, if possible.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So same plans on the plane on the draw?
Same plans.
Okay, then what do you side out and what do you side in?
So we are siding out 2 copies of Prismatic Omen, 2 copies of Relic of Progenitors, and 1 copy of Sweltering Suns. So this is a very interesting one. The Prismatic Omens, even if they help us like combo faster, the thing is, by now, Prismatic Omen is very popular in the TitanShift lists, so I expect them to have enchantment removal.
Okay. Some sort of hate against Prismatic Omen.
Yeah, and I think in this matchup we don't necessarily need the Prismatic Omen to win the game. It's enough if we just have the combo a turn earlier than they have, the Escape Shift, or if we have the mobile Essence Moss. So I think cutting the Prismatic Omens is fine in this matchup.
Okay. Is it still okay even if it could actually help you to combo faster than them?
Yes.
Okay. I still think it's good to take this one out.
Because we just don't want to cut any ramp spells, any win conditions in this matchup. So that's why I think Prismatic Omen is not a win condition and not a ramp spell.
It's a sort of enabler.
Yeah, a support card.
Okay.
So I'd rather cut one of these cards than an actual ramp spell or an actual win condition.
Okay. And the other cards?
The Relic Progenitors, they cycle, but don't do much.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah.
Also,
okay.
the Sweltering Suns, They can kill off a Sacred Trap Elder if our opponent is not very cautious and doesn't sacrifice it in response.
Which is quite unlikely.
Yeah, quite unlikely. So that's why it gets boarded out easily.
Okay, so all pretty clear. What do you side in?
So we side in 2 copies of Beast Withins. Hello there. And 2 copies of Witchbane Orb. And 1 copy of Tile Striker. So the Beast Withins are very sweet on this one because they can attack their mana base, their Valakutes, or just attack a specific color in their mana base, and just in general attack their lands. So I think this is a good point there, pretty good plus.
So you want them actually you want to deny access to green when you do this.
We are trying to accept
green is the key. I mean, especially because you have like spells like Scapeshift that requires double green, so you want to make sure they don't reach double green.
Or the Primeval Titan.
Yes. Or the Primeval Titan, yes. Also that requires.
So we are trying. And for example, if they have like 2 Rem spells, Sacred Tribe Elder and a Farseek, and they have only 1 green source, it's hard to cast both of them.
Yeah.
So I think we are with this card we are trying to attack the green sources there.
Okay.
Mainly.
Okay.
So land destruction is pretty good in this matchup.
Okay. So Beast Within and Monvuli Acid Moss together, they can do quite a good work.
Yes, and the Preview Buddy, we don't care about that one at all, as always.
All right, okay.
And the Tile Striker, very good value creature, which can draw us draws cards, and find our combo pieces, our Rem spells, or Removal Acid Moss. And because we know that post-board, our opponent won't have removal as well, Tile Striker will be unanswered, untouched pretty much.
Unless they side in Beast Within like you do.
Yes, that can happen.
That can happen.
Unlikely, but I'd be happy if
depending now how many people how many people watch this video, they will learn about this.
But please, do so. I'd be happy to trade in my Tile Striker instead of my land. So that's fine.
That's also okay. That's also true. I mean, anyway, you're giving an extra target, so they have to make a decision if they want to Beast Within your lands or Beast Within your Tile Striker.
Yes.
They have to answer to it. So you still have a little bit of edge in there. I see your point.
Say so. Thank you. And the 2 Witchbane Orbs, very sweet cards there, which gets boarded in pretty much every combo matchup. So as soon as this one hits the field and they don't have removal for that, answer for that, we are set.
Sure.
We have enough time to assemble our combo to win the game the next following turns, hopefully.
The only option there is like the alternative plan. They have to attack you with creatures, and the beatdown plan is the only way they can win, unless they draw removal for your Witchbane Orb. But I understand your point. I mean, you still have some time rather than have some Valakut trigger in the face straight away and then the match is over, of course. So yeah, totally understandable. Very good. I would say that's it for this episode. I think we said it all. Thank you very much, Alex, for joining the show once again.
Thank you for having me once again.
Absolutely a pleasure. And a big thank you to all of you who've been watching this video. We hope you enjoyed, because we surely did making it. Oops. And let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to reach us on Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/HEDRON.TV, twitter.com/HEDRON.TV. You find also the link in the description below. Just click on Show More, and you will get all the information you need. We are taking a short break here at HEDRON.TV, so the next video will probably be published in a couple of weeks rather than 1 week. But don't despair, we are coming back.
I know, too much tension for you.
Nice. So we will see you soon, and for now, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.